Valbyhallen, København, den 24. maj. Whitney Houston er nu halvvejs igennem sin store Europaturné. Og det sker på et foreløbigt højdepunkt i hendes karriere. Hun har netop med 7 førstepladser i træk på den amerikanske hitliste slået den rekord, der tidligere indehaves af The Beatles, der havde 6 singler i træk. Ingen tvivl om, at hun både kvantitativt og kvalitativt er verdens førende sangerinde i dag. Og her i Valbyhallen er der et udsolgt hus, cirka 4.000 mennesker til denne koncert, der må betegnes som en af årets store koncertbegivenheder. Måske også lidt af en københavnerbegivenhed. En meget blandet publikum. Lige før var der 2 helt unge piger heroppe og spørger mig, må man gerne danse helt heroppe foran. De var helt tydeligt for første gang i byen til koncert. Også mange mennesker, der overstiger selv min alder, er at finde her i aften. Der er lagt op til en stor begivenhed med et meget, meget stort navn i verden i dag. Velkommen til Whitney Houston.
Thank you. Thank you. All right.
Crazy, so you can really put your body to the test. It doesn't hurt to make sure everything is right, and you find your bone and wind up with a mess. Ooh, it's a common situation. Well, even though you feel abandoned and alone, well, just try and make the first to experience a hurt. So don't panic when you hit the danger zone. No, no.
Life is a whole different situation. It allows you to expand more, I think. You get to feel people, you know, and they feel you, and you have contact with them, which is always a joy. It's like nothing in the world.
Simplicity and presence seems to be key words in your professional lives, both on stage and on records.
Mm-hmm.
How do you yourself explain that?
I think that basically if you have one good thing going, which is if it's singing, it's singing. If it's dancing, it's dancing. I think that you never sort of, deviate from that. You sort of stay with it, And in that way, once you keep that basic thing going, then you can work around it. You can put anything you want. You can have elephants if you choose. But I think basic things and simplicity is the key to people understanding and feeling you. If you have too much going on at one time, I think it's sort of difficult to really get into what is actually happening.
Your way of being present, being very much alive. I thought of, could it have anything to do with being the youngest in a family with 2 older brothers to live up to? Is that good training? You sometimes see that with younger children.
Yeah, right? I guess you do to a certain degree. Maybe you're right. Maybe it was my brothers that I tried to keep up with at some times. Being the only girl, there was a certain degree that I could go. And keeping up with my brothers, because I couldn't do the things that they did. But although I did climb fences and I did play baseball and I did do all those things that a girl would do if she had 2 brothers and no sisters, But I guess they did give me that kind of spunk that I do have.
Before your first public appearance, you had the opportunity of knowing what a career could be like. Did that frighten you or encourage you?
I think both at one time when I was deciding on whether or not this is what I really wanted to do. It was a decision to make as to whether I wanted to become You know, I mean, I thought about this. I thought about being this big, but I thought about, well, maybe if it doesn't work, then what, you know? So you're sort of encouraged and you're sort of frightened at the same time, but you sort of try to balance it out to somewhere, somehow.
Yeah. What was the frightening things? You talk a lot about being alone is part of the price
lonely.
you have to pay.
It's very lonely. It's a lonely thing. No matter what, you are the one whose name is being said all the time, you know. You're the one that the press is looking at. You are the one that they say this. You are the one. It's always you. It's always your name, and it's always your privacy that's being taken away from you, you know. But it's something that you choose to do. If you're going to do this, then you must be, you know, sort of aware that it comes with the territory. So they tell me, you know, this is what comes with the territory, Whitney. So be prepared for it. So, you know, it's just the way it goes.
Your audience seems to stretch all the way from teenagers on the dance floor or wherever they are to grandparents at home. Is that something you choose very obvious?
I had no idea. I had no idea that would be the range of audience that I would capture. It's something that it's a surprise to me, as I'm sure to everyone else, I think, to a degree. But what better audience to have? Children and grandparents. I love it. I love it.
But songs like So Emotional, I Want to Dance With Somebody.
Sure.
And then there are songs which seems very much mature, songs that you might expect to record in a much later stage in your career. You're already doing them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's something that you already. I don't know. I guess it's just something that. Emotion is emotion. Feeling is feeling. I don't think that you have to be 45 in order to know what love is all about. I think that anybody of any age and any range can understand love. You know, a child can. My nephew does. You know, he knows what love is. He knows when he feels it, and he's only one.
Didn't we almost have it all?
Actually, I really enjoy singing, didn't we? Especially live, because I get to take my time with it. And I really get to take the words apart and make each one become outstanding and make each one understood and clear. And once you do that in a live situation, people actually, they see it as a movie, they see it as a picture, you know. Already I think in my music, which is why I think in many cases it's very popular, is that people tend to see it as a movie, they see it as a story. But when you're standing on stage and you sing it live, it becomes so much more real to you, you know. Each word is very important, and I like singing that song live. I do. It's love, but it's a sad kind of love. But I think in all of my songs, the woman always comes out feeling stronger, you know, in some way or another, which is always nice.
So there are songs to learn from?
Oh yeah, absolutely. For a lot of Black American singers, I think it is a classic start. I think it's because that's where we start. We start in church. We sing in church. We express ourselves in church. It is a way of giving thanks and praise to God. And I think from there, you learn so much about feeling, and you learn so much about expressing yourself, that when you make the transition into this world and going and singing, you know, this kind of music, it becomes, you have the basics. You already know what it is to feel and to be able to express oneself and to interpret something or a feeling or an emotion, a song. You know, so you already have the basics, which is great. You know, I thank God that I started in gospel music. You know. people who go to church, I think sometimes are the most critical because they want you to be the best, you know. They want you to be the ultimate, you know, because it's still that same kind of competition, you know. This church goes to this church, and you know, if you're the one that can sing, then you know there's that pride, you know. So it's sort of like basically the same thing happening, just like it is out here in the world. It's really funny, but it's true. Yeah.
Your first solo performance in church, "Guide Me, O
Thou
Loud
Great Jehovah. Yes, yes. Very special song. I remember when I was given that song, the choir director said, "I want you to sing this song," and I said, "No, I don't want to sing. No." And she said, "You're going to sing this song." I was frightened to death. You know, the first Sunday that I stood in church and I sang, I was quite nervous and I was quite scared. And in my church there is a clock that sits directly smack in the middle of the church. And from then on, from that song on to any song that I sang, that was my focus. I focused on that clock, and I would move my hands, I wouldn't do anything. I just focused on that clock and I just sang. You know, that was I was that frightened. I was that nervous.
That I forgive. See, I forgive.
My mom sort of took me by my hand and showed me the way. I was blessed to have a mother who was already in the business and who sort of knew, you know, how to do this and the best way of surviving it and staying in it and the longevity of one's career. My mom knew, you know, she knew just what to do, so I followed her.
Yeah, she worked with the best.
Yes, she did. She certainly did and still does.
Do you have any of your own songs hidden in the bottom or the top drawer at home?
In my mind, yes. There are so many words and so many things and you know, so many emotions that can be put down on paper that you don't quite know where to start. So you must take time, I think, which I haven't had much of these days, to really sit down. And someone who already knows how to write, I think, is a good vehicle for you because they already know the pattern of it, you know, and then they can bring out things in you that maybe you're afraid to, you know, to say or to do, or say, well, I don't know whether this is going to sound smart enough, or, you know, maybe this is going to sound dumb to people, you know. So you have to sort of be guided along those lines, I think, in writing. But eventually, I will do.
Yeah, there's still a technique there for you to be learned.
Oh yeah, it's something that I definitely want to do, but I don't want to get into it whereas it has to be learned, you know. I know the pattern has to be learned, but I want it to be from my feeling, from my heart, you know. I want to write down words and say, this is what I feel, you know. This is what I want other people to feel also.
Well, here's my advice. Here's my advice.
I don't know, it's just something that happens to you and you don't quite know it. You don't quite know when it's going to happen. Like I'm standing on stage and I'm singing a song and something else will run through me or generate through me and I'm singing it totally different, or another note will come and I've never hit it before, or I never heard myself hit it before. So that kind of growth, it's that kind of practice, I guess, or that kind of routine that helps you to grow, you know, and experience what you don't even know you have.
So we'll see you grow a lot to a third LP.
Oh yeah, I hope so, yeah.
Thank you very much,
Thank
Whitney.
you.